Hello everyone! It's Melissa Arthur from Illuminate Guidance. I'm also the host of the Own Your Inner Authority Facebook group for women. And I want to hop on here today to talk about a few strategies for how we can move past fear and dip our toes outside of our comfort zone. Several weeks ago, I posted a video about expanding our bandwidth and provided kind of a framework for what your comfort zone looks like and what it might look like, what might be some reasons to step outside of that. And today I want to provide you with a couple of ideas and practical strategies, because I know that when I step out into my own inner authority and make a big change in my life, I experience a lot of initial fear, and so many of my clients experience that too. We talk about it a lot, that when we step out and start to even think about doing something new, we're bright, we're creative, we're motivated women in this group, and we're not used to just feeling terrified. And something about making a commitment to initiate any kind of change brings up fear. And oftentimes the nature of that fear for me was about being visible. And I wanted to explore new ideas. I wanted to see what it would be like to sort of start living into a new endeavor, but I didn't feel like I wanted to be out front. I didn't want anybody to know about it yet. And so what I often do, and what I talk with my clients about, is the power of going into research mode. Research mode with starting out with some passive research and then moving into more active research, hopefully leading to more bold actions, is kind of the process that tends to work for me. Because when I start out moving toward a new endeavor, I feel fear and I feel paralyzed by fear at some point in the process. I take a step back and I think, what more do I need to learn? How can I just kind of lurk around the world and observe and find out what more I need to know? So I go into research mode. So for example, say you are, dissatisfied in the community where you're living, and you found 3 or 4 different places, different communities you'd rather live in, but you don't have the money to go and visit all of them to see how it feels, and you may be terrified to do that anyway. So maybe, say I'm a person who's a single mom and I like hanging out at yoga studios and coffee shops. So a passive research activity might be to, get on social media and find some coffee shops in those towns, find some yoga studios, find some single moms groups and look at the schools, figure out what's happening, and start to envision yourself in that place and see how it feels. Gather data on how you're feeling, what you're finding out, and all of that. And with some kind of passive research like that, usually one of 3 things will happen. One, you start to eliminate possibilities, to say, I was making some assumptions and these are true, these are not true, and I'm going to narrow it down to 2 towns or 1 town, or I've learned something that's helped me to make a clearer decision, to get some clarity. 2 might be that you continue researching forever because you feel safe there, and you think, if I could just learn a little bit more, if I could just, get 1 more book from the library or do 1 more thing on the internet, it would help me figure out what I'm going to do. Now, that's where you don't want to get stuck. Ultimately, you want to move into active research. So becoming inspired by that first initial, just kind of passive research mode to get into a little bit more bold action. And oftentimes, if you're on the right track, that will happen naturally, because you learn something and you get inspired and you're ready. So maybe in this example of moving to a new community, you start reaching out and saying, hey, is there anybody I could, get on a quick phone call with to find out what it might be like to live in this community? Or even bolder than that, you might buy a plane ticket to one of them and take a trip and find out for yourself. But that active research phase allows you to gather even more data and get even more clarity so that you begin to generate this momentum that moves you past fear and moves you into really living toward that future state that you're wanting to live into. And so I just want to offer these couple of steps in this process in case it might be helpful to you in a transition that you might be considering. In the coaching process, we work with this a lot, that there's a lot of fear around making a change is going to just blow up our whole life. And there's so much risk and there's so much to manage and so many things that could go wrong that it really does kind of stop you in your tracks. And so in the coaching process, we design smart risks, we design experiments, and we help you to be supported in initiating a level of risk that feels okay to you, gathering data, interpreting that, and living into more clarity and confidence to make those shifts, to make those critical changes in your life. If I can be a resource to you, please don't hesitate to book a call with me. I'd love to have a conversation with you. I'll drop my breakthrough link in the chat, and I hope you have a beautiful day.